you know, even though Tasti tried while we were writing the Constitution to contribute to that Constitution in order to make a place for science, technology, and innovation, and especially the notion of national innovation systems towards a knowledge and sustainable society. And we presented a document to, at that time, the Parliament, but nothing came through. At least we thought we did whatever we could, but nothing came through. And we were not the only one, that couldn't influence this constitution. Even the mighty Utica wasn't able to really influence this kind of dynamics. So that showed the interest of Tasti to be really a real player, in trying to boost science, technology, and innovation, because the Tasti founding fathers are convinced that what I call Tunisia's Achilles heel. Tunisia's Achilles heel is actually, the ill structure of its industry. Because since 1972, we haven't changed basically anything, in our legislations or in our industry to go to a higher level, such as more value added and more integration in the global value chain, as Professor Bass was explaining a moment ago. As a matter of fact, this syndrome of being always late, starting really good, but then, sleeping for a long while and not evolving, is a syndrome, is a Tunisian syndrome. Very much like policies in industrialization, the same thing happened for STI. As a matter of fact, the most important law, I believe, that we promulgated was in 1996. And it had a tremendous effect on the research system, as a matter of fact. Okay? And Tunisia became the first country in the continent, I'm repeating myself, whatever I said yesterday, when you normalize the number of publications by GDP. However, after that, we haven't done anything. So since 1996, Tunisia didn't take any serious decision as to consolidating, strengthening, or upgrading the level of performance of our STI system, and especially going into linking this, research advantage with the industry so that we can upgrade our industry through value added and consequently the integration of our newly created industries in the global value chain. So we had a delay of at least 20 years. We had a delay of at least 20 years where nothing was done to upgrade our STI system, especially through the idea of a national innovation system. As a matter of fact, and as an anecdote, the people who really worked hard to bring the terminology national innovation system the last few years or so are sitting around the table. It's basically Bahri Zik, Hatem Henry, and myself who pushed, for this terminology to be used, because all we were talking about, during all these couple of decades is the research system. The research system, that's all. And that's why you find a quite strong research system, so university system, which is the upper stream of the innovation chain, but when you try to go down the value chain, things become weaker and weaker and weaker till Tunisia basically disappears from the global value chain and with very, very little export of high value added product, which is, to me, is the indicator, a true indicator, a real indicator of the ill structuring of our industry. And to me, I feel like we need to concentrate on this problem and try to redesign whatever subsystems in the social, economic, meta system to work towards that goal. Be it education, be it financial and banking system, be it vocational training, be it investment laws and incentives, and of course, one of the great missing elements capacity in SDI policy making, which was completely absent since, at least a year ago, even though TASTI was aware of that early on, and we had a special program that we designed in TASTI a few years ago with, in partnership with the British Council, that is called Yani, where we are trying to boost the capacity of the youth, and here the youth means below 45 years, who already are in the administration or in big industries. And so far it has been quite successful, and many institutions saw this success, and now we are discussing with UNESCO actually to help UNESCO train some youth in public policy, but especially towards youth policy. So some dynamics are taking place. So, and of course, the meeting that we have today is again within these dynamics, to try to underline the importance of rethinking, the situation of the industry in Tunisia, and consequently try to upgrade this industry in order to solve most of the ills of Tunisia, especially unemployment and equitable growth. Today we are happy that among those who are present here, besides of course our German friends from Bremen and my friend Pat, is that we find Utica, because they are, I believe, one of the major stakeholders capable of boosting these dynamics. We had people from agriculture, because we believe we cannot just do technology or restructure our industry just through manufacturing. The agricultural sector is huge and can really grow tremendously and help while growing, to grow the technology side. Finland, in some way, did it through upgrading its agricultural system, and that's how they got Nokia and they got whatever advanced technologies. So these, to me, are very important steps, but little steps, because we are a young, small association with very, very little needs, especially material and human. Okay, so we are trying whatever we can to really work on problems that I believe haven't been put on the table by the different governments. As a matter of fact, we used to have for the last couple of decades a Secretary of State for Science and Research. That Secretary of State was discarded, right after the revolution. We never hear anybody for the last 5 years talking about science, talking about technology or innovation. Only maybe just, for populist talks, but nothing usually is, behind. For instance, one of the decisions that was taken by the Minister of Telecommunication is to train 8,000 youth in Android programming, so that to help them somehow, get a job by developing applications. As far as I'm concerned, I believe that this initiative is not sound. It's not at all sound. First of all, it's not the job of the Ministry of Telecommunication to train anybody. Okay? It's either the Ministry of Higher Education or the Ministry of Employment and Vocational Training. These are the institutions, governmental institutions that should train people. However, the role of the Ministry of Telecommunication is to create the right environment so that youth that have that know-how can actually, use it and make a living out of it. For instance, and this is a recommendation to the Minister of Telecommunication, is, for instance, to say, okay, all of the services, all the digital services that I have in my ministry, I would like them to be transformed into, smartphone applications. That is a way of helping the youth, getting a job. Because if there is no client, I can be the best Android programmer. I'm not, by the way. Okay? And I won't be able at all to make a living out of that. So, and the most interesting part of this is that in our culture in Tunisia, this piece of knowledge is known since 600 years ago. I'm not laughing, I'm serious, okay? And Ibn Khaldun, the mighty Ibn Khaldun, the Tunisian thinker, 600 years ago in his book, The Prolegomena, the introduction, Al-Muqaddamah, and he said clearly that in any country, if the king or the ruler in general wanted to develop any skills, he calls it sana, any technological arts or skills, he had to be the first buyer, the first client, which is nothing but procurement, isn't it? So Ibn Khaldun was talking about procurement and specifically by the state to develop the technologies and the know-how the state desires, and so as being, strategic for the country. Ibn Khaldun knew this 600 years ago. Our ministers don't seem to know anything about this. And consequently, they are just doing whatever is simple, whatever is populist, okay, but with very knowledge of exactly what are the levers to be activated. So this is a little bit of an introduction saying that TASTI is doing whatever it can. As a matter of fact, launching this ETP master program, should have been, the government project as far as I'm concerned. But even with whatever we are doing, so far we are not receiving any support whatsoever. Okay? So they didn't say no, thank God. Okay? But there is no support whatsoever for this really very, very special and unique training that responds to the need of the country. So while we were doing all of this, I also felt that all the stakeholders, all those who are trying to boost innovation were not interconnected, were not working together. Everybody was trying to do something in his or her little corner without any synergies. So we thought, some time ago that TASTI had to go one step further and try to bring this large family of active people in the area of STI together and maybe try to create a higher momentum, and influence the development of STI in general and STI policy in particular. So about 2 months ago or so, TASTI had a meeting with quite few people, active people in the area of STI in general, and we decided that we would be launching, Tunisia's innovation network, Tunisia's InnoNet, and we agreed on that. And few people took the responsibility of writing the charter of that network, and that charter was accepted by most, at least version 0, by most of the stakeholders. And we wanted to take this opportunity, this meeting, to officially launch the Tunisian Innovation Network. And of course, we will start small, as it was mentioned by Carl. We cannot just bring everybody together, at once, but we need to do it step by step, bring in the stakeholders, and hopefully trying to get this large family. And through this large family, we can interconnect with the global dynamics, such as the network that we did launch with UNESCO during the summer, which is actually, the network of academicians and stakeholders interested in STI policy. So we hope that this extra step, this new step, TASTI, as now the secretariat of this network, will help STI in general and STI policy in particular take its place in Tunisia's transformation as a lever for development and as you know, a needed sector for Tunisia, as you all know, doesn't have much natural resources, and consequently it can only build its transformation and its the wealth and well-being, okay, not just wealth, and the wealth and well-being and its society through the grey matter of its population and of its citizens. So again, on behalf of TASTI, I officially launch the Tunisian Innovation Network, and I hope it will be a successful newborn and new child of TASTI, and that it will bring the needed change to our STI arena, even if it's in a very, very progressive manner. And of course, all of you here, from students to partners to civil society, are invited to take part and help in the growth of this network in order for it to achieve and to help achieve with all other stakeholders whatever is good for Tunisia, for the neighborhood of Tunisia, as well as the planet. Thank you.
Comprehensive employment strategy, and I presented 4 routes of reindustrialization, and you asked about methodologies. Yes, I think it is not enough to think only in terms of global value chains. My first route of reindustrialization was to strengthen linkages between agriculture and industry. So the linkage approach. The second was regional reindustrialization, using the proximity to city hubs like Bizerte and Gaza and so on. So this is very important. So the proximity and growth pole approach is the second methodology. The third, you have seen, is deeper integration by integration and upgrading in global value chains. But it is only one route. It is not enough to reduce unemployment. And the fourth is resource-efficient growth theory, green growth. Yes, you have to, a lot of opportunities if you also take this methodology of resource-efficient growth. And these 4 strategies and these 4 methodologies together, if you support by incentives these sectors, has the potential not only to reduce overall unemployment, but also youth unemployment in the neglected regions, and also the unemployment of the people you need so much, the tertiary education graduates, unemployment rates officially 23, unofficially 35, and also vocational training graduates, officially 25% unemployed despite of the low level of graduation from the intake, and unofficially also much larger. So I think your employment strategy should be not on one leg, but on at least 2, yes, to come along. I would say it is risky to think only in terms of a global value chain approach, but to neglect linkages, to neglect regional growth poles, to neglect proximity to regional growth poles, and to neglect resource-efficient growth. You have so many opportunities for ecotourism and for waste management. All these areas need a lot of trained people, and you have them.
We answered a little bit with your remark, because I think you're absolutely right. It's a German perspective, as Ziad told us, to open the doors in companies, to bring researchers in and to analyze first the processes, and to use all these well-known tools like green management and so on. But this is just one side of maybe well-developed economies and or well-developed industries, because there you have to gain for further efficiency. So maybe the German perspective is also to keep production within Germany, because we have high labor costs and always the pressure from low labor countries. So our Industry 4.0 initiative also deals with this pressure. So we now try to be more flexible and to bring further technology and tools to be competitive. But on the other hand, if you remember this last slide, on the other side, where societies, economies are more impulsive, this is also something which you could have as an idea, as an impulse, because I think sometimes it's just a question to get started. So, small project, small idea, provide basic tools, and just start. Like also, I think Ziad also told it, if you start from scratch, it's better to don't worry so much about things and gaining more efficiency, but just start. And I think the European Commission and the Horizon 2020 projects also give you an opportunity to really just go into projects with European countries, with other European enterprises, and just start to develop your ideas with the help of European countries. So it's I think both. So it's not the question to be on the one side on the obsessive part of economy, but also not on the histrionic parts. It's you have to maybe get the best of it. Also with the point of view of the researcher. So sometimes it's good also to provide startups with not so much worries about efficiency and so on. So just with the motivation to success with that technology. My personal opinion, I think, or also the people.
Yes. I'm sure the stars. Brains are existing, 100%. And for this reason, I think the German delegation is also here. Otherwise, we will speak about maybe brains development. But what I mean with problems is problems, what we have problems or not. Yeah. These could be solved by using applied research, which is problem oriented. So regarding brains, what I have learned from discussions with Tunisian people here from my country, that we need brains by decision making. The people who should make the decision. Like Zine said, minister or director, we need the right person in the right position to execute the plans what are provided by other brains. And I think we have a lot of brains, we have maybe exceed the brains, but we have to choose the right persons for the right position. Minister of Education should someone who knows how it is going in research. In industry, the same thing. They're not doctor for agriculture and someone from agriculture for religion. So, and the last point, Mr. Z, is there is a program called Erasmus Plus, which is an initiative of the EU to fund students to make master's, PhD in Europe, and I think for the Arabic countries and North Africa, there is a big budget for that to find students, and they have to profit from that. So it means student in ETP who wants to make a master thesis, he can do it, for example, in BIBA, and my professor Tun sent us the email with all the documents what the students need to do to fill in, and he has only to describe the idea, what he wants, and I think it's a good opportunity to go to the German industry to learn and to get more intelligence. So, thank you.
No, but they will come back. Like you did. Yeah, I will come back. I am.
Well, on this nice laugh, I'm going to give you also probably another good news. We were supposed to have a closing ceremony at the end after the crash course in technology foresight, but I know that quite few of our German colleagues would like to sightsee a little bit around because they will be leaving early tomorrow morning. So I really would like to have this session as our closing ceremony without making a big fuss out of it, and just invite those people who had to check out from their room, who won't be staying here tonight, to check before 2 p.m. And of course, we need to go to lunch and maybe start at 2:30 the training path, okay? So that we can get a little bit more time for lunch and for checking out. So I would say that this is our closing ceremony for the conference. I would like to thank everybody who participated in this conference, especially our Bremen's friends and colleagues for coming all the way from Bremen to share their ideas and to support this activity. I also would like to thank DAD for helping this cooperation to take place, and this is actually part of the DAD project. And I would like also to thank Pat for being here, and especially for the coming training session. Also, I would like to thank Mr. Abdelaziz for taking, I know he's very busy, and he took the time to be with us. That means he probably liked what he heard. And of course, I would like also to thank the utopists who are here, and I hope and I'm sure that all the presentations that were able to attend were of use to them. And this afternoon session will be also of great use, because you will have questions in the exam about this training, so you will have to be there. And I don't know if Carl would like to say something.
Many thanks to Professor Sine and his team. From the first minute, we had the impression that we are amidst the problems we had to discuss, and we really have achieved something. I think discussing reindustrialization in a broader sense, and I personally thank you very much for the theme. It was also for me very important to learn about the new reindustrialization efforts and the role of SDI. We have also learned a lot about Tunisia, and we had so many interesting participants and comments from your side. I think there should be some further contact among us to cooperate also in the future. From our side, I think there are many initiatives, and we have people here from various institutions of Bremen, from the University of Bremen and the Hochschule Bremen and Innovi and BIBA and so on. Technology Park, I think they could individually or jointly have contacts with you in the future, advise you, and give you support for sending students. How you call it? Etipists, yes. So that etipists can come also to Bremen. Thank you very much, and also many thanks for all the other supporters of the event.
So I was just talking about the fact